Baseball. So, what's your number one question? When you came in here, what did you expect to get out of it? Who wanted to share? I will call on you. So you either can step up and be a leader, or I can put you in a position to lead. Anybody want to step up? What was your expectation when you came in here today? What did you want to get? My man.
Hey, when I came in, I ain't really had no expectations. I was like really wondering why y'all here, and I thought like how I just felt like y'all just here because we got a new school or something.
Okay.
Okay, that's
real. Okay, that's an excellent point.
You didn't see me in the old building?
Well, so no, I want to address that head on because a lot of people do come and show up when the cameras show up, and then they're not there when the cameras leave. We're hopeful that you will develop a relationship with these gentlemen that are local. This is my first time being in this school, right? This may be some of these gentlemen first time, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the last time. And it also could be an opportunity for you to come into their rooms where they are so that they can expose you to things. We have a tagline, what they see is what they'll be. And that's really what today is a little bit about. We're trying to give you a snapshot in what you can be or who you can become or why it's important for you to man up or woman up to step up your game. Because it's your parents probably, if your mom and dad is in your life, they probably tell you something like, tomorrow's not promised to any of us. The world is a tough place and it's not always fair. But one thing is true. If you prepare for life and various scenarios, you'll be much better off. And so part of what we're trying to do today is get you prepared. So appreciate the honesty, the openness. This is a safe zone. You can ask and say whatever you want. You can ask and say whatever you want. Okay? It's safe in here. All right? So, anybody else have anything else they wanted to get out of this? Heard from that brother, I want to hear from a sister.
I have a question.
All right, no, you put your head down. That's a tell. Stand up. Stand up. You were reluctant to come in here, right?
Yeah.
Why?
See what happened was
Yeah,
I
what
wasn't
happened?
gonna come in here,
Okay.
but then somebody told me to come in here. I was like, and then I made a decision quick. I was like, you know what? I might as well come in here because either way it goes, it's my class. And honestly, I really thought I would get information out here that I probably need in lifetime or probably just need daily during life.
Let me, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I want to point out something here. Never let your peer group or someone around you impact or influence you from making the right decision for yourself. Right? A lot of times, you got to remember, we were once 16, 17, and 18. It was a long time ago for some of us. Okay, it was like yesterday to me. But actually, I'm 50 years old. All right? And one of the things I will tell you, there are times in your life, and today is not going to be the only time. There will be other times when you're put in a situation that you have to make a decision for yourself. And you have to be woman enough or man enough to be able to step up and make the right decision for you. Today is an example. You're not in this room by accident. You are supposed to be here. All right? You're not here by accident. I don't know what your faith is all about. Okay? But from where I come from, in my point of view, there are no accidents. This is divine intervention. You were supposed to be in the room with us today. So get what this opportunity provides. So let's start with your questions. Because we're not here to lecture. We're here to hear from you, hear what you need, all right? Because we have relationships. We can make things happen, okay? So what do you need? If no one's going to talk to me, I'm going to start getting volunteers. Because I know I got some athletes. What are some common things about athletes?
Marvin, there's something that they need to understand is that quite a few of you, your careers that you want to do, you're sitting in a room with someone who's doing it right now.
Exactly.
Okay? So a path has already kind of been cut for you, but you have to ask the question on how to get there. All right? So if you have a question, or if you're curious about what's it like doing that job that you thought about doing when you grow up, now is the time to ask that question to that person.
Yep. And we got first hand. What's up, brother?
So you know I wanted to be a mechanical engineer.
Yes.
You are a mechanical engineer. How did you go about getting into your career with engineering?
Well, first of all, I didn't start out as a mechanical engineer. I started out as an aerospace engineer. When I was in high school, I said I either wanted to go to UVA or Howard or A&T and major in chemical or aerospace engineering, right? That's all I knew. I went there and I got into engineering, and I started out aerospace. In my second year in the summer, I had an internship at NASA, and I was working on the heat coefficient. I'll speak in layman's terms. It was the tiles that go in the nose of the space shuttle. They have to dissipate heat, and so there's something called a heat coefficient that you have to determine the optimal heat coefficient. So that tells you that material's ability to dissipate heat. And so I was there working with a bunch of engineers with short sleeve white shirts. They look like nerds with pocket protectors and all this stuff. And I spent the entire summer sitting down at a computer decoding run cutter program, about 4,000 lines of code. I was bored out of my mind. Went back to school, changed my major to mechanical engineering. To answer your question, the first thing you have to decide is what schools have engineering programs that you're interested in. The biggest choice that you guys have to do, schools come into two buckets, HBCUs or non-HBCUs, right? Or predominantly white. If you can narrow down your choices, and both are good choices, okay? Narrow down your choices in that way, and then look at the schools that have the majors that you're looking at. So you have to find credible engineering schools. A&T has one of the top engineering programs in the country. You know, I'm biased. UVA is very good. MIT is good. Georgia Tech is good. You know, Virginia Tech is good. You can find some good engineering programs across the country. And then look at who's going to give you the most money and support to go there. And then once you get there, you don't have to declare which engineering discipline, because the first 2 years are what they call core courses. So everybody takes the same thing. In your second year, you have to declare whether I'm going to mechanical track, whether I'm going to go the electrical engineering track, chemical engineering. You base that based off those 2 years of core courses and what your experience has been and what you want to do once you leave. All right? But the key for engineers is you get the engineering discipline and that training. You may never do mechanical engineering work, but those first steps are key.
And I also add a caveat, just that there are also Hispanic serving institutions as well. So places like Arizona State University or Arizona, New Mexico, University of New Mexico. So that primarily serve Latino students as well.
Yeah. I know y'all got questions.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Can I ask the honorees really fast? If you could do high school again,
Oh, my God.
what 2 things would you do differently? If you could do high school again, what 2 things would you do differently? Because, y'all, we've been in high school. We've been right where you at. We're no different from you. We're just older than you. So we have some things, we might go back to school and be like, yo, I could have done this a little different. So we can share that with y'all, maybe that will help out, because y'all not gonna ask us personal questions, so maybe we can share some of our personal challenges.
I wouldn't have broke up with Jackie Jones. That's a different.
I said I would have made better grades. Like you said, to get the full scholarships, the full ride. I have student loans now, like I'm sure some other brothers have, but yeah, I would have made better grades. I would have, studied a whole lot more than what I did. So
Two things.
two. That's all I can say. Is
You
really,
done better, okay.
yeah, make better grades.
Okay.
I think for me, it would have been better grades, for sure, better grades.
And for sure, better
Yes,
grades.
I missed out on 3 full ride scholarships.
Mhm.
BYU University, University of Hawaii, and Washington State.
Mhm.
And I put all my eggs in the sports.
Mhm.
I wish I would have did that. But what drug me down, the other piece was the girls.
Mm.
If I had to do it all over again, it's not worth. It's okay to have friends, but to get yourself deeply involved in girl stuff, he say, she say stuff going around, that just took away from my focus from my grades. So those are my 2.
Awesome, thank you.
I think for myself, one thing, like you said, in high school,
Mm.
I would have wrote down my goals. I waited till I got to college and wrote down my goals, and I was actually able to graduate college early. That, like you said, less debt for one, but also know exactly what I wanted to do by the time I got to graduation. The other thing was read. By the time I got to college, my senior year, that's when I started picking up books, and that's when I started digging into some of the things that they won't tell you in school. There's a statistic that if you read something or study something every day, that you're smarter than 90% of the world in that certain topic. So you business people or engineers, those magazines, or just stop in the library and pick up a book about the first person who was that engineer. That gets you motivated and gets you learning and on that path and focused on what you actually want to be.
I would say I never asked the question to anyone. I never knew a pilot growing up. I got to ride on a plane, thought it was great, but I never actually met one, had the opportunity to talk to one. And so just had a wild idea that I would just go to college, join the military, start flying planes, and everything would be hunky-dory. And it was a little bit, it couldn't have been further from the truth. Sitting in this school, especially this school, is so important to me, and y'all know why, because this is an aviation magnet school, and that first course that y'all are working on right now is worth about $25,000 out in the real world, and you can get it here today for free. So trying to streamline that whole path to getting that career that you've always dreamed about, so you're not having to pay back student loans, as am I. Would be vitally important, and it just comes from asking the questions to anyone, to everyone. Just keep asking questions. It'll open doors for you.
Since we have some ladies, I think we should, okay, sorry. Did everyone speak?
Yeah, so I mean, I would just I feel fortunate that I feel like I pretty much did a lot of things right. Like I didn't graduate with that. I graduated college early. But one thing that I would say is that I would have not limited myself to colleges in the South. I thought about colleges in Texas. I got full rides to those, and then I ended up going to Louisiana State University with a full scholarship. But in reflection, I wish I would have looked out into colleges like Berkeley or places in Boston or some other places. But I kind of limited myself to somewhere closer to home. I knew I didn't want to stay in Texas, but I would look into liberal arts colleges. I would look into different types of colleges that are out there, not just the kind of big state schools, not just the Ivy Leagues. There are a lot of different colleges out there that fits, people, different people uniquely. And so I would have done that a little bit differently.
Since we have some ladies in here, we'll just ask the ladies to share just one thing really fast before we wrap up.